Hi guys. So what we're doing today is starting on a theater drawing, and as often happens when you need to draft a show, what you're going to receive from me is a ground plan and section drawing from an AutoCAD file, and then the task will be to pull that plan and section into Vectorworks, convert them into a Vectorworks file, and create a 3D model using the information that you have from the AutoCAD drawing. So that's what we're going to start with today. I'm going to teach you a couple of tools in Vectorworks that you'll use once you get those files in. So let's open Vectorworks. I'll let this load and probably cut this part out. So here we are in Vectorworks. First, I'm going to create a new file using my CSArts template. Great, just like we always do. Let's let that load up real quick. Trying to move some stuff out of the way. Okay. So I'm in right now a scenery layer, but that's not actually where I want to bring these new files in. They should create their own layers when I import them. So I'm going to go to File, Import, down here on the side. And up here it's a single DXF or DWG, or this one. I'm going to try this guy and see if it works. One or more files. Let's choose the files that I want. They just downloaded, so they're going to be in my downloads. I just downloaded them off of Schoology. They are this XPlan and XSec. So plan and section view. Let's open them. So 2 files, great. Destination, current file, architectural objects, 2D view. Okay. Then we're going to let it use the detected file units. So that means that if your AutoCAD file is in feet and inches, Vectorworks will put it into feet and inches. Everything else I can just leave as it is. Default. Active settings. How do I get in here? Click OK. I did. Why will you not let me do the thing? Multiple files with different units. What? Inches. Inches. I told it inches. Let's see what happens. So 2 files were successfully imported. There they are. So they've been created as separate layers in my Vectorworks file, these 2 files that were successfully imported, XPlan and XSec. I'm going to drag them all the way down to the very bottom layer. And I'm going to say gray snap others, just because I don't want to be accidentally messing with one while I'm working on another. I'm going to take my section view and I'm going to select all of the parts of it. Okay, all parts of this section view. I'm going to group it, so that's Control G, group. And then I'm going to move it up here, kind of out of my way, because the section view I'll use as a reference when I go to clean up and make this ground plan more like a regular theater ground plan, right? And less like this particular view. So that will be in this XPlan layer. I'm going to just select it all, zoom in, and let's read what all of these labels say. Okay, great. So what you're seeing, and it's a little bit tricky to see entirely, right, are all of these catwalks are in yellow. Those are probably in a separate class, and it probably brought those classes in. So let's look and see, right? If we go into classes, we got a whole bunch of all caps classes that came in with this file. So like the catwalks, if I turn that off, did you see how all of those yellow lines went away, and I turn it on and they came back? So the way that this file is organized, it has catwalks in it, which are separate from all of the like overstage stuff. So like this green line is another line type, right? So spend some time looking at the classes and seeing what's going on, okay? See what is what. You can click on different stuff and it'll tell you over here, like, this is the text in the X plan. Great. Right? Stuff like that will all come in with this drawing. So take a little time and look at this drawing and figure out what is going on where, right? The other thing that you'll notice is there are these pink lines. So there are some things that are a wall. This is just a polygon with a hatch. There are some things which are these like pink lines, which is like the acoustical treatment on the walls in the theater. Okay, so various different pieces of this drawing are kind of organized in weird ways, is the quick way to go about that. These are like details about stuff on the walls and places that there are beams and things like that. What I would love for you guys to do is to take this drawing and trace it using Vectorworks and create the 3D model replica of it. And this is a big project. This is going to take a decent amount of time to actually get all of the pieces the way that you want them to be. My advice to you would be to take each of these layers that you have, like theater floor plan, that would be the layer that you would want to include the stage floor. You would want to include all of this, all of these doors going around the outside and the walls, all of that kind of stuff. The lighting positions, you could do an overhead layer for the catwalks or add a design layer for the catwalks to separate out all of that information. I like using layers better than classes because layers will automatically stack things vertically. So you could say draw all of your catwalks and then move that layer up to the height of those catwalks and not have to go back and redraft things or move them individually to that height. So that's a good option for you. Let me show you some tools that will help you. One of them is the wall tool. So if you go into this thing which looks like a house, you're going to get a wall tool right now, right here, right now. If I am looking at it, it's telling me that I'm controlling it from this left-hand line. So I click here, my next click will create the left-hand line, or if I'm drawing, for example, this piece of wall right here, it would be creating the inside line. So then I can just click on that, right, and it's drawing that wall. Okay, this is a 6-inch thick wall, which about matches that piece on the drawing. Some of these walls seem to be 12 inches thick, or a little more than, or more than 6 inches at least. So you can adjust those accordingly. We should be able to snap to the items in this drawing, but for some reason we're not getting that. So I'm just trying to make this as close as possible to matching this wall, right? If I wanted a wall that's thicker, right? If I wanted to start this other wall right here and I want it not to be 6 inches, I can change its thickness over here on the side. I can be like, you should be 11 inches, 12 inches, whatever. But it is centering it up there, so maybe that's not how I'd want to do it. It's kind of a whole, move the midpoint of the wall so that now it's continuing here but centering there, that kind of stuff, in order to create this outside ring around this whole theater. Okay, and I can extend this wall all the way past that door, all the way into the corner, because instead of erasing and drawing those doors individually, I'm going to use the door tool. This is the Gary Marshall Theater. So now I'm going to use the door tool to insert doors into these existing walls as I work my way along. Okay, so like for example right here, this door, I use this door tool right here, plop this puppy right on in, and then after I click once into the wall that it's going into, as I move my mouse around, it'll show me different options for how the door would swing open, and I want it to match the one in the drawing. When I click a second time, it creates that door in that doorway. Okay? Right now, it's not perfectly aligned because this wall is not matching up. So those are some details that I can figure out, because it looks like maybe the wall changes as it goes through there, right? As it goes through this door opening, it looks like this wall moves further inside. So that's something you can figure out and tweak as you go. But you'll want to add your doors in that way. You can join your walls together. Doors like this you can just place as a double door, and those are all options in the door tools. So if I wanted this door that I just drew, instead of being a single door, if I wanted a double door, I can just click on it and then go over here into the door and wall settings and the object info, and I can change things. Like if I wanted it to be a double door, I would make it 6 feet wide instead of 3 feet wide. First it makes it giant, and then I go down here and I can say swing by part. Now it's a double door. If I wanted it to be a sliding door, I could do that, or a pocket door, or all kinds of other nonsense. Those are all options that now I don't have to draw myself. Vectorworks will draw them for me. So those are all options that I don't have to draw myself. Vectorworks will draw them for me, which is great. In this case, we'll just do a 3-foot door. Okay? So start by pulling in those drawings as references, getting all of your walls figured out as best you can, and putting doors into those walls. You can join those walls together. There's this wall join tool that'll clean up corners if you draw them individually and then you need to join them later. And then once you have all of those put together, we'll start using different design layers for the different layers of height on the theater, and you'll be able to just trace over existing lines that you have. You can organize those by classes or by or by design layer, and that's something that we can talk about more too. But I want to let you get started on that. The other thing you'll notice, right, is I put these in and the walls came out 10 feet tall. That's not the correct height. So to find the correct height, I would come over to my section view and measure from the floor to the top of the wall, right? And look at how the stairs kind of step up towards the back of the theater, all of that kind of stuff. That's all the heights of your risers. That's where you're gonna find all of that vertical information. And you can just use your measuring tool when you're on that layer to snap to those things and get those height measurements as you work on this drawing. So this will be a big project. We'll see how everybody does, and we may get to a point where those of you who are able to finish this, it will be part of the extra projects part of your assignments, and then everyone will just get that basic drawing down so that you can always add more detail as you go. I can show you how to put the seats in on the seating risers, right? So all of this is the seating, but there aren't any chairs. I can show you how to get the chairs in there. I can show you how to make sure that all of your risers are the right heights. All of that kind of stuff is stuff that I do every time I'm setting up a theater drawing. So that is our project. I'm gonna save this and export this video for you.